Welcome to the Next Best Picture podcast, where we are talking with one of the stars of the new film, The Eight Mountains, Alessandro Borghi. Alessandro, how are you these
Hi,
days?
everybody. I'm very good. Thank you so much. How are you? Good?
Good, I'm doing well. I'm very excited to be talking to you because I
Thank
just
you.
saw this movie the other night and was floored, to be perfectly honest. It's a beautiful film, and I'm very excited to talk to you about it. But I want to get started with a little bit of history. You had worked with your co-star Luca Marinelli
Yeah.
before on a previous project. Had you been looking for an opportunity to collaborate again, or did this sort of just happen, come along out of the blue?
You know what? Yeah, we worked together like 7 years ago, right now. So we're getting old. And yeah, we were waiting for something special to come together again on set because our first movie was something really special for us. It's really, really special. We made a movie together called Don't Be Bad with our beautiful, amazing director, Claudio Caligari. And it was something that really changed our life some way, I have to say, because it was something so strong. It was our first important movie together. So from since that moment, everything changed, I think, and professionally, but also emotionally, and related to the approach to this job and the way to think about this job. Because when you're young, and maybe I'm speaking for me. When I was like 25, 26, I was like obsessed about the idea on doing stuff better, about the performance, about showing people that I can do that. No, I can do that. I am at the level. I After that movie, everything changed because I understood that everything has to be related to the story, to the importance of the story, to the need you have to tell the story to the audience and create this kind of communication between you and the audience using these beautiful instruments that is the cinema. So was incredible, was great, was so strong. And since that moment, we were waiting for something powerful like A Mountains, and it was not planned at all. It happened, and it was great.
That's fantastic. So it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
And when we were speaking with the directors, Charlotte and Felix, they mentioned that originally when at first you and Luca had wanted the opposite parts that you ended up playing, that you were more interested in Pietro and he was more interested in Bruno. What attracted you to playing the part of Pietro at first?
Well, actually, it was just a little bit different. And I have
Mm.
to say that this is kind of a story of our life because with Don't Be Bad, it was kind of the same thing. In the beginning, it was kind of we were supposed to play the opposite role. Here was just a little bit different, and I'm gonna tell you why. When I met for the first time Charlotte and Felix, they choose not to involve me in the movie since the beginning. So they choose Luca, and they worked with Luca. So when I came back doing another audition for the role, uh, they were trying to understand what was the best role for Luca first, and then for me. And I think that actually happened that in the audition we all together discovered that I was really in love with Bruno's character because I thought that it was a great opportunity to do something different from what I did before, and I really wanted to do something strictly related to the planet Earth, to the mountains, to the mud, to the to the cows, to the milk, to the cheese. So I learned a lot, and at some point we understood that the right we I think that we all had the same feeling about that. So it was Luca with Pietro, me with Bruno, we're starting together this beautiful journey, learning a lot of stuff related to millions of things that I didn't know before, really. Millions of things, really manual, practical things. I don't know how to say. So at some point that they were like, okay, starting from tomorrow, you're gonna go to an alpeggio, like 2,000 meters high, and you're gonna stay with people dealing with cows, milk, and all that stuff. You have to learn to make a house from the basics. So I was like, okay, guy, let's do this, and it was great, and it was so funny, and it was so funny. I have to say, doing this with Luca, because Luca Marinelli is, yes, is an amazing actor, but first of all, is one of my greatest friends. So it was, yeah, a journey that it was so special.
It was fantastic. You had to in this part do a lot of like using the practical things. You have a lot of physical. You have to do bricklaying and carpentry and
Yeah, yeah.
milking cows and making cheese. How much time did you spend learning how to do all this stuff, or did you just sort of come and just sort of do it with your naturally?
Okay, it was like 3 weeks alone in the
Mm,
month with this incredible guy that he was like 17 years old. But
wow.
but when you meet a person that and you don't know how to understand how old is he. I was like, okay,
Mm.
I know he's 17, but he could be like 40 years old or
Yeah.
with huge hands, really, really, really into that thing.
Wow.
So he used to manage this whole stuff and on the top of the mountains alone with other two guys younger than him. So it was incredible because I'm 36 right now, and there are these
Mm.
two really three young people dealing with this stuff, and obviously at some point, I don't know if it's a common thing, but we are really into the work, we're really into the city, we are really into the routine. So for the first 3 weeks, at some point, I obviously had like a crisis, and I was like, oh my god, I made a mistake, I have to be here, this is my place, and all that stuff. So I don't want to be an actor anymore, I want to move for the rest of my life. And fortunately, everything came back at the right place. So it was 3 weeks in the beginning, just before the beginning of the shooting. And then during the shooting, every day, we have a lot of people helping us on set in all the practical stuff and try to teach us how to manage with these things.
Mhm. One of the very cool things about watching the film is watching you and Luca actually build this stone house. You're laying the bricks, you got the cement, doing the roof with these wooden planks. Um, how much of the house did you two actually build while you were shooting?
It was like 1 month
Hmm.
to build up the basis of the house, and
Yeah.
then to understand how to deal with the wood, because
Hmm.
they were really every piece of the house were incredibly heavy. So there were a lot of people on set trying to, as I said, teach us how to deal with this stuff, because they were
Right.
so scary that we are gonna hurt ourselves, obviously.
Of
So
course.
every day it was like, oh my god, we're not gonna finish the movie. Yeah, guys, we did it. We did it. And so it was like 1 month. And then after the 1 month, we changed the location to permit to other people, to the real people that
Okay.
do that, to finish the house, and came back over there to try and enter in another in the other phase of the movie.
Right.
Would
Yeah.
say.
So you guys actually did build like the whole like the bottom, the base of it
Yeah, 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 yeah,
yourselves.
yeah, yeah. We
That's
did.
incredible. How like how many hours a day were you guys shooting and building that?
No, actually, it was like um, 5 hours a day, and
Mm,
then maybe other 4 or 5 outside of the set, outside the camera, I would say,
yeah.
doing these, trying to learn how to do that. So it was like, yeah, 8, 10 hours a day.
Wow.
Right.
And not just, acting, it's also hard labor.
Yeah, yeah,
So how I can imagine how
yeah.
exhausting
But you know what?
the
I
shoot
think
must
that
have been.
I think that these maybe is the secret. When
Yeah.
acting is gonna some way be in the same level of real life, you're gonna really you have the feeling that you are achieving something special, because you cannot understand where is your life, where the acting gonna is gonna begin. So
Hmm.
it's a beautiful bubble, and
Yeah.
inside this bubble you're gonna discovering yourself, you're gonna discover the others, you're gonna discover the characters. So every day is full of surprising stuff. It's incredible. Every day is like, oh my god, I can do that. I
Yeah.
think so, you know. So it was like, so all right, and you feel more comfortable into the story. And because obviously in the beginning it's natural, I think, to be just a little bit scared, you know.
Yeah.
Because every time we have to deal with something that is outside of our comfort zone, so it's like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that, if I'm gonna
Mm.
be believable. This is the great thing, being believable in something that it's not in your soul. No, I was born in a city, I grew up in a city, I didn't know anything about that. So it's like try to use every moment to feel believable to the others, yes, but first of all to yourself.
Hmm. Yeah. An incredible process. I can only imagine what it must have been like to work on this film. It also it's interesting because the film, takes place, they really make use of the four seasons in the film. We really
Yeah.
see the greenness and, warmth of the spring and summertime, and then it's really harsh winters up there on that mountain. And it looks like you actually shot during the winter, like not like this was not fake snow. This was like the real thing, or maybe it was imported, but like it was really, really winter when you shot
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So I'm imagining that you shot the spring or summer more green parts of the movie and then went back to shoot when it was cold and when there was
Yeah.
snow. So what was it like to, you know, invest this, your time and energy and soul into this character, then leave him for a while and come back? What
Mhm.
was that process like of refinding Bruno?
Okay, this is a very good question. Thank you. Now, I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
tell you why. Because you know, I grew up, but I think that 80% of Italian actors grew
Mm,
up with the idea of the great American actors.
mm,
So we used to listen to people talking about the method, the Strasberg, the Stanislavski,
mhm.
working on the character every day and every hour. No, not leaving the character because the process is gonna be tough in that way. So when I was younger, some way I tried to understand if it was possible in our country. It is not. It is not. It is not because it's very complicated in Italy for the time you have to work on the character. That is never a lot. You know, for example, I told you I had 3 weeks, 1 month, but it's not a lot of time, no, to build up something. So
Right. Yeah.
you really need to be focused on following the flow. When something happens, you have to be
Mm,
there. You have to use that moment. You have to
yeah.
build something related to the moment. And this is, I think, that it was a great training to be able to leave something and re-grab something again after a while.
Mm,
And actually, that year, that it was like right now, maybe 2 years ago, nearly 2 years ago, it was a long time ago. Yeah, yeah, was an incredible year for me because I was on the Delta del Po in January. Then I come back to the bank to do Devils season two.
mhm.
And then I stayed like for 6 months in the mountains because I went for 1 month for holiday in Iceland. And it
Oh,
was
wow.
incredible. Yeah. Then I studied 8 mountains in Val d'Aosta. And when we stopped and Luca went to Nepal to do the part to Nepal in the movie,
Okay.
incredible. I was doing another movie in Norway.
Wow.
Yeah.
True world travelers, the both of you.
And it was incredible. I was obviously really scared about that. And I was thinking about, oh my God, now I have to leave Bruno. I have to put other clothes for another
Yeah.
character in a moment that maybe it's gonna be confusing. Actually, I figured out that everything in that moment of my life was related to the mountains. So the important thing for me was staying on the mountains. Unfortunately, I came from Valdaosta to Norway and then come back to Valdaosta, so it was not difficult to manage in terms of emotions, in terms of feeling. And and I remember that sensation, that beautiful sensation that when I finished shooting the other movie called Midnight Sun, no, The Hanging Sun, sorry.
Mm.
Uh, I came back on set in Valdaosta, and it was like I was never in another place for 6 months. It was the feeling was like I never left this place. No, so and I felt so sure, so safe about the idea of restarting doing Bruno. And it was, you are so lucky when you have the opportunity to work chronologically because the winter
Yes, yeah.
was the end of the movie. So we had a great background, and actually that 2 months, 1 month and a half where we stopped was a great moment to think about something and to think about the end of the movie and
Mm.
what we needed to achieve that kind of ending in terms of emotions, in terms of
Yeah.
relationship between me and Luca. So we have to deal with that every day. Right now, I'm changing the idea of how to manage work. No, because in the beginning
Mm.
you have the feeling that you have to work because you are scared that somebody is gonna I don't know what is the right word. Dimenticare is um, is gonna forget you. No,
Ah, okay, yeah.
it's gonna forget you. So you have to be there and done. At some point, something beautiful happened, and happened the thing that you're gonna figure out that you are an actor, and people have to wait to you to tell stories because this is our job. So you don't have to
Yeah.
be obsessed with doing stuff with the performance. It's just a great gift doing something that is not a job because it's not a job.
Mm.
It's what we love. As you're there, as I said, follow the flow.
Yeah, yeah. It it's interesting that like it sounded like you really over that time shooting the first part of the movie really got connected with Bruno. And then when you came back, it was just that instant you were just there again. Bruno at one point in the film describes he's maybe not describing himself, but it seems like he is. Talks about a wild man, part animal, part tree.
Yeah.
Did you identify with that in any way?
Well, mm, sometimes I have the feeling that I'm in the wrong place in this moment of my life
Mm,
because these months on the mountains completely changed my connection to the nature. We cannot say nature, Bruno said,
right. Yeah.
but I can say it.
Because of the right,
Yeah,
yes.
to the nature, and also what is the feeling that you can establish with this beautiful thing that you don't know that every day is gonna giving you something new, and it's a continuous discovering and something. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel a trees or an animal, but I'm sure that sometimes in my city in Rome, with a lot of people, with a lot of noise, with a lot of stuff that I really don't like anymore,
Mhm.
I feel really the need to go away and,
Mm,
and have the opportunity to feel something different, to to put myself in another condition, in another dimension. And
mm,
I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago was difficult to think about. Right
yeah.
now, every time I have the time, the possibility, I go away, really. And
Hmm.
yeah, sometimes I feel like a tree.
Okay, so then in that case, that sort of brings us back to like one of the central questions of the film, which is travel the eight mountains and seas or climb Mount Sumeru at the center.
This is the question.
Hmm.
Well, obviously I don't know, but I could tell you what I feel about that in this moment of my life. That is kind of
Yeah.
connected with what I said before. It's like I when I okay, last time I was in New York was in 2009, a long time ago. And yesterday I came here after this long time, and I'm very nostalgic, and I love to think about memories about what I did when my life was different. And yesterday night, I came to New York like at 11 p.m. and I put my sneakers and I went around the city in the night, reminding how it was having 24, 23 years old. And since that moment, when I was 23, 24, I thought a lot about moving, about going away, also in New York as well. But I didn't do that. And I don't know why. Sometimes I ask myself why, but probably it was for the people that I have around, for relations, for my family, for friends, for my fiance, for a lot of stuff. So right now, looking back, I know that I'm really happy. I'm really a happy person. So I feel lucky because I can feel a lot of love around me, a lot of people that I can feel that my decision to not living was kind of the key of this huge love that I can feel.
Mm.
But every time I talk with like a young man, a young girl, 20 years old, 18 years old, I always tell them go away.
Hmm.
It's like if in my mind I know that something could have been different if I did it.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I often think about that. I have to say, because yeah, you're happy, yes. You're happy where you are, yes, okay. But sometimes, I think about the sliding doors, famous sliding doors, and I thought, okay,
Yeah.
if I have left in I don't know 2012,
Mm.
it could happen. I don't know. We'll never know. But I think about that anytime. So
Yeah.
it's how I think about that beautiful question. So I don't know which one is better. I know that every person has to find his way
Hmm.
and trying to optimize. I don't know
Yeah.
what we have. So
Yeah.
to try to face every time that beautiful sensation of being happy every time you feel something that is able to connect you to a feeling of happiness, you have to grab it and trying to use it as much as you can. So maybe in my second life, I'm gonna move to New York and I'm gonna answer you in another way.
Well, I mean, there you go, New York. It's a city that never sleeps.
Yeah,
We're here. We're
yeah,
always going to be here.
yeah.
Well, and we're almost out of time, and that seems like a honestly perfect place to end it. So thank you so much for speaking with us,
Thank
Alessandro.
you, thank
Thank you
you.
for your work on the film. What can we look forward to seeing you in next?
Right now I made a series for
Hmm.
Netflix that is
Okay.
released, I think, in December or January, about a person that I don't know if you know him is Rocco Siffredi. There is a porno actor.
I may have heard the name
All
at
right,
some point in my
all
life,
right. It's
yes.
like one of the most famous porno actors
Yes.
in the world. And right now is 60 years old. So I'm talking about other times, and it's a series, 7 episodes. It was so challenging, I have to say, in many
Yeah.
ways. And so this is the thing that I'm waiting for right now. And I'm gonna be in another set in September. So right now I'm gonna take some rest because 20 days ago I became father. So everything is changing again.
Ah, fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Life goes on and is ever evolving.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again so much for speaking with us.
Thank you, Daniel.